My guest is from Lakewood St. Ed's High School, a perennial flower in Cleveland. And Wyatt got quite a bit of playing time last year as a sophomore, which is kind of very unique or very good in that kind of a program. One of the better programs in Ohio, one of the top Catholic school programs in Ohio. Wyatt, how are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
Good. School's about out for you guys. When's school over?
We got about a week and a half left.
Okay. That'll be good. That'll be good. Tell me about school. Are you doing a good job in school? Are you getting fairly good grades, or how's that going?
I got like a 3.5 GPA. I'm in the honor roll, so I'm doing all right.
Okay. Let's talk about football a little bit. What's your favorite? What do you like about football? Why football? I know you're in track, in the track season, and I think you're probably run to get in shape and stay in shape, but still 100-meter time at your size and age, 11.7, 11.8, that's not bad at all. And
Yeah.
plus, you're a football player. But and track's good. Do you do anything else besides football? While we're talking about that, do you do a winter sport?
No, I just lift during the winter.
Do you condition and lift during the winter then?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Let's talk football now. We'll get back to football. Why football? What makes it so good? Tell me, football. Why football?
Obviously, it's fun hitting people and stuff like that, but I just love the team environment and just the sport in general.
So, if you're convincing a mother to let her son play football, why? What would you say? What's the best thing then?
Well, it toughens you up, obviously, and it builds a lot of character with all the conditioning and the teamwork.
Good. And it's you're one of many guys that say teamwork. You're around the team. You got that whole locker room stuff, and you got pregame and travel, and it's all part of being a big group. And the thing with football, it's not like basketball or baseball or maybe even track. You got a lot of dudes out there. So
Yeah.
you got 65. I mean, varsity guys probably 75. There are a lot of guys, so that makes for a good environment, and I think it's really good. Now, strengths at defensive end.
I like to think that I'm good at tracking and tackling mostly. I need to work on my hands and my pass rush a lot, though.
You do, and but but I watched you. You're able to get inside. You're not just a straight shot. You can move around a little bit and get around people too, and everything. And I think that's good. And you're strong. And plus, I think that I saw a couple of plays on your highlight film where you ran the guy down. I think you came across from the backside a couple of times and made some tackles, and it's really good. What do you think you have to improve on?
Definitely pass rush. I've been working on it a lot, though.
In what ways do you have to improve on that?
Just working moves, flipping my hips, stuff like that.
Okay, okay. And that'll be a big thing if you do play linebacker in college. To work on redirect, work on those hips, and but why a lot of guys have to do that, or change direction in high school. That's so huge in college to be able to redirect, or I just call it, you know, I guess redirect is a good answer. But also watching you, excuse me, I think, excuse me, one other thing you might do, you can take on blocks, but you might want to get off of them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you're tough and strong enough to stand up to them, but you also got to get off of them. So the whole concept has changed. But you're playing defensive end and you're still making plays and you're on the field. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay, anybody in the pros or in the NFL or in college that you kind of look up to, or not necessarily emulate, but you look up to and things like that. Anybody like that? Anybody name jumps out at you?
Ray Lewis. He hits hard. He has great character and hard and work ethic.
And tremendous, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's a Baltimore, former Baltimore Raven. No, I don't think he never played at Cleveland. He got drafted, but when they were in Baltimore, didn't he? I mean, he wasn't in Cleveland. I'm playing for the Browns, was he? I don't think
No, I
he
don't think
was.
so.
I'm just thinking that, but no, he's pretty tough too. You know that, don't you?
Yeah.
He's pretty tough. Okay, as you look back in the same line, then anybody that's kind of been a pushing force for you or influence for you to keep grinding or keep your head straight and stay focused and things like that. Anybody in your life, you credit that? And I know you're young, but anybody you credit doing that?
My parents have helped me a lot. They encourage me to work hard, and they just teach me great lessons.
Okay, what's your mom teach you?
She just teaches me how to care for people and just be nice. And my dad's
Okay.
more
Well,
like,
moms are the boss. You know that, don't you?
yeah.
I mean, dads can say anything they want to,
Mm.
but moms are boss, and moms are the driving force a lot. And I'm just joking around with you a little bit, but I have high respect for them. Okay, with one more question on that, then what or words or do you live by? What like for me, it's I'm 72. I've been doing this, but I still want to be the best at it. So you got to keep grinding, or you got to stay focused, or you got to have self discipline. What words do you live by?
Uh,
Anything?
I think it is grind. You really have to keep grinding, like you said. Just keep working hard, no matter how difficult it gets. Just keep on your grind. That's my word.
And then no matter, you got to throw that bone out there, and then you got to go after it, right?
Yeah,
You got to and make that your trophy and or your reward, and that's for you. We talked about it early, but what do you see yourself in 10 years?
uh,
Let's go high school and college. Where do you see yourself? You're going to play Division I football, and then what are you doing after that?
hopefully the pros. But if I can't play pro football, I'd want to coach. Definitely.
Is that right?
Yeah,
That's really good. That's really good. I know your head coach pretty well.
yeah,
He's pretty focused guy, isn't he? At St. Ed's.
yeah.
He's pretty focused, and he's a good friend of mine. Uh, okay, let's talk about. I have 5 or 6 silly. No, not that many. 4 silly questions. Okay, here's the first one. If you could trade places with somebody for one day, anybody for one day, who would it be?
Probably Baker Mayfield. That'd be fun. Playing quarterback for the Browns.
but Cleveland beats him up. The media beats him up. He's a
Yeah.
cool dude, isn't he? He's pretty good. He takes a lot of crap, but
Hmm.
I like him. He's not very tall. You're taller than he is.
Yeah.
But Baker Mayfield, that's good. Okay, we talked about football. Let's go back to football a little bit. Is there a top Now you're young, but is there a top sports moment so far for you? Something that you'll talk about for years to come, but something happens. Is there anything right now, a top, like you've done something really well or playing in your first varsity game? Anything like that? Making the first tackle or anything?
Definitely my first touchdown. I didn't. So when I played football, like third, fourth, fifth, sixth grade, we had a weight limit, so I couldn't run the ball. But in seventh grade, I played running back, and it was very
Oh,
fun to score my first touchdown.
all right. Seventh grade. How big were you?
I was pretty big. I was one of the biggest kids on the team, but I was fast too. So
That's good. You're staying with it then. Okay. We talked about that. We talked about your biggest strength as a player. What's let's go back. What's the hardest thing about playing defensive end for you? I mean, let's go back in a little more detail. What's hard about it? What do you really have to focus on when you're playing?
Keeping containment. Like when the ball's on the other side of the field and you have like cutback responsibility, I don't like that because I just want to run and make the tackle, but you got to have patience. So
You got to have patience, and you got to make sure the ball crosses the other side of the field too, don't you? In
yeah,
case there's a reverse coming back or a counter coming back or something like that. You don't want to be strung out there. I do these interviews, and I really enjoy them. I take too long sometimes. Okay, here's a silly one for you. What talent would you like to have that you don't have and you never will have? What
uh,
talent? What would you like to be able to do? You can't, and you probably never will have the talent. What would that be?
probably having world class speed, like Usain Bolt type speed. That would be fun, being that fast.
If you could run a 4.1 maybe, or in the 40, and that'd be pretty good for a linebacker. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's really good. World class speed. What would you do with it though? I mean, would you be a running back then, or a corner?
I think I'd be a receiver. I'd want to play receiver if I had that speed.
Oh, okay, six. Oh, we didn't talk about that yet. Well, you're 6'2" and 230. Are you going to try to stay right there, weight wise and stuff?
Um,
You don't want to get much bigger now, do you?
if I don't want to get bigger to the point that I slow down, but if I can add good weight, I will. It just all depends on how I'm feeling.
Yeah, that adding good weight. Be careful. I mean, that's really hard to do, but 230 is a pretty good size coming out of high school for a linebacker. And trouble is, if you get too big and you're playing defensive end, you know what they're going to do? Go put your hand down, go inside, play defensive tackle. You
Yeah.
know, you don't want to do that, man. If you're a running back, you don't want to do that. You did that in junior high. Okay, let's. What annoys you? What bugs you? Not necessarily, you're not going to get up and fight, but what kind of annoys you when you're playing in sports or in school or anything?
Just when people are talking while I'm working, like if I'm working on homework or something during school, it just really annoys me when they're talking because I cannot focus when other people are distracting me.
And you have to go over and say something to them or not?
Nah, I just try to focus. I don't say anything.
Why would you have Earl Campbell's jersey on your back wall there?
I just like Earl Campbell.
Okay. Now you're closer to Earl Campbell, maybe size-wise. He's a pretty big dude. But
Yeah.
Earl Campbell, that's good. Okay, just a few more questions, and what would you tell a freshman? Your program's so big, you don't see those guys. What would you tell a freshman about playing football? If we'll say it's the second week of August or first week, it's 90 degrees out, hot. What do you tell a freshman about surviving in football? What do you tell them? What kind of encouragement do you give them?
Well, it'd be more advice than encouragement. I would just say learn the offense or learn the defense. Just learn your position because the mental part of the game is the most important part. The physical stuff you do in the off season, the mental stuff you have to learn for the season.
Right. Because the physical stuff. If you're not ready to go, September 1st, too late. I mean, can't get in shape that easily once the season starts. There's so many other things to do. You study film at all?
Yeah, a lot. Yeah. We have an app for Eds. It's called Learn to Win. It's like on our phones, and we watch film with it, and we do like football like quizzes, I guess. And
really,
yeah, with the defense, it's good.
You study your opponents then too quite a bit
during the season. Yeah,
yeah,
weekly.
That's real. Excuse me. That's interesting. Opponents. What do you got? Who do you have on your schedule this year?
First is Toledo Central Catholic, and then we have the normal people like Iggy, Menor, all those teams. We got a good schedule this year. We got a few out-of-state teams. I think we're playing football north in Canada. I don't know.
Okay. Don't overlook Toledo Central Catholic.
Yeah.
They're pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
that's good. Well, you're all good football to me. Y'all hit, everything. Okay, we're going to finish up here in just a minute. 2 questions. Let's talk recruiting just a minute. How is that going so far? It's kind of early, and the COVID and all that stuff. How is that? Are you getting any kind of attention or anything right now from colleges?
Well, I've got a lot of coaches following me on Twitter and stuff. I've gotten a ton of invites to camps. I've narrowed it down just to a few camps, so I think I'm gonna go to like 8 or 9 camps.
That's more than a few. Why?
Yeah.
That's a lot. That's a lot. Now, I would warn you. I'm an old guy at this. Make sure you don't go to too many, because you go to that last one and you're dragging. They don't know. They don't care about that.
Yeah.
Man, he doesn't run very well. He doesn't. I mean, they don't care how many camps you've been to. If you don't showtime and you don't perform for them, it's tough. Okay, that's good. It's good you're going to camp. So I think I'd cut that to 5.
Yeah.
Probably spread it out and hit some of the big ones, and it's pretty good, I think. Okay, I had the last question then. Why would I recruit you? What? Okay, don't tell me you can run and you hit, and why would I recruit you?
Well, I bring a lot of versatility to the table. I played freshman. I played middle linebacker. This past year, I played like a edge rusher, outside linebacker.
Right.
So I know how to play both. I could play D end, linebacker. If you want to put my hand down, I can do that too.
Okay, that gives me. What about character?
Yeah, I work.
Character. You a good person?
Yes, I'm a good person. Yes.
That's what I mean.
Okay.
I don't care about how many times you lift weights and all that stuff. I want to be able to trust you.
Uh-huh.
I can edit some of this out, but I think it's really important. And you're loosening up a little. You were pretty serious there at the beginning of this podcast. You're starting to loosen up a little bit now, which is good. Hey, I really appreciate you being on my podcast. It's so important to me to know people. I mean, to know if I'm going to write about you, if I'm going to, and somebody says, hey, you know anything about Wyatt Gedeon? We see him on Twitter. Yeah, I do. And see, that's really huge for me. And that's why college coaches, that's why we get along really well. Okay. I appreciate you being on my show, my podcast, and stay with me. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.